This is a pretty amazing interview, actually. So, from Frehley's Comet, hopefully I can pull him up here. This is Tod Howarth, and let me see if I get him. Todd, are you there?
Am I on?
Live radio, man. It's always something fun. You are on. Thank you, Todd.
I'm on. Yay, I'm on finally.
Thanks for holding there for a moment. So, yeah, on the phone, Tod Howarth, the guitar player and writer of many songs of the band Frehley's Comet and 707. And just happy to have you on the show. Thanks for coming on, Todd.
Well, thank you, Patrick, for the indirect invite. Got a friend of mine on Facebook, plethora of friends and fans, and Steve Parker. He asked me if I could give you a ring. I said, "Well, sure. I've got to spare a couple of minutes of my frenetic day."
That's awesome.
which you turned the blend into the night here. But yeah, he wanted me to say hi to him and the night crew at Shaw's in Cohasset. Well, hello to you guys and the night crew. I picture people in the dark, but I don't know what's going on there. So
yeah. Well, they're a good group of guys, and they love this radio station. And I'd like to thank,
fantastic.
And I'd like to thank you for coming on the show because what a pedigree! I mean,
thanks.
Starting off in such great bands, and now doing the stuff that you're working on now, which I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that first. Why don't we talk a little bit about the new stuff that you've been working on?
Well, the new band is called 4 by Fate, and it's 3 years old new.
Yeah.
So we've been working on it for a while. It actually started with John Regan, who's was the bass player in Frehley's Comet with Ace Frehley and Anton Fig and then me. But he actually helped start that band as well. But John and I put this band together. It originally started out about 5 years ago as to try to do a Frehley's Comet reunion with Ace, but that didn't work out. So long story short, we managed to put a band together, and we went through a couple of musicians. We had a drummer, Stet Howland from Wasp, that joined us, and Sean Kelly from Crash Kelly out of Canada played guitar. They consequently left the band, and then we had A.J. Perro from Twisted Sister playing drums, and he recorded the first 6 songs in the CD. And then he passed away, and we got a new drummer, Rob Afuso from Skid Row, the original drummer from Skid Row. And Pat Gasparini is our other guitar player now and songwriter, and he does sing some lead as well. Great songwriter, prolific guy. So it's the 4 of us, and we have the CD out now. It's Relentless. It's been out now for about a year. And we're still working on getting it going through a plethora of change-ups and management and guidance and that type of thing. But we're getting some momentum. We're later this month, we are opening up for Foreigner at the Poughkeepsie Civic Center on the 29th, I believe it is. And then we're doing another gig. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to announce it yet, but it's like a smaller, fun gig shortly after that, I think on the 4th. And then we're heading to Australia for about 3 weeks. We're doing stuff over there with Bruce Kulick and a local favorite band called Sister's Doll. So we're doing that, and things are moving along. Of course, things are only going to move if we make them move. But it's going real well. I'm thrilled with the progress that we have as of late.
Yeah,
but
wow.
It's been a long journey. I mean, there's no overnight success here.
Oh, of course. Well, that's always the dream that people think it is. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work. I've been in bands myself almost 20 years. It's a lot of playing gigs. It's especially when you're putting together something new. But man, with this group of guys, you're not going to really have much of a problem. I mean, that is. Oh man, I can't wait to hear that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's got a lot of critical acclaim for the small circle that's been involved in over the last year, but that circle is starting to broaden as we get out there and expose them more. I mean, it's pretty solid, substantial rock of kind of like a blend of the '80s plus maybe Alice in Chains, Van Halen type thing. Stone Temple Pilots, I guess, somewhere around. But it's just big melodic rock. That's what I like to classify.
Yeah, and we need it more than anything now. I tell you.
Yeah, And there are a lot of good bands out there. I mean, we're older guys, but we still pound it out real hard and heavy. And we're just hoping to bring some music to people that have known of us. And I mean, there's a lot of people that followed all of our careers. John Regan has played with so many people. I mean, Peter Frampton for over 30 years. David Bowie, Mick Jagger, The Stones, Stephen Stills. Phenomenal bass player and producer and businessman as well. And then Rob Afuso, on drums. He's of course he's got the Skid Row thing, so he's
of course
got a huge following. And I've been with a few bands, 707 back in the '80s, early '80s, and then on the Cheap Trick and Ted Nugent and then Frehley's Comet with Ace, and I've released I think 5 solo records since 1990.
Yeah, I was reading that. That's wow, what an accomplishment, man.
It really is a long, hard road. I mean, I made my first record when I was 23 years old, and I'm 59 now. So.
Yeah.
It really is a long, hard road. But if you do something, you gotta love it.
Yeah, but you got to remember that time is a construct that humans have created, and the fact that our age is actually we're eternal, Todd. Remember that all the time.
Yeah,
there's no
I'll
such...
remember that when I drag my butt out of bed.
Yeah, every morning. That's what I try and do.
No, I'm doing pretty good. I'm still in good shape. I mean, I say that's not like pat myself on the back, but I really do take care of myself because my schedule's pretty demanding.
No,
I just my stamina and vocals and what I have to put on stage. My vocal task is pretty heavy, so
of course.
I've got to take care of myself.
Yeah. Well, you got a great smile, man. I was.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, when I punched up the stuff today, and I was, doing my research on you, and I was like, oh man, yeah, that's, I remember that guy with the big smile and just like, just happy all the time, and just you have the positive attitude. Me and you were talking off air for a few minutes, and I had mentioned to you that this show is about, kind of the nostalgia about going back to kind of the late 70s and driving around in your parents' van and stuff like that, and station wagons. And,
that's funny. There was 2 cars that I actually did drive.
Yeah, right?
A station wagon and a van.
Yeah, totally. So, you know what it's like. And, hearing an Anne Murray song and all of a sudden it brings you to tears, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But on top of that, we also like to play, the rock side of love songs as well. And you wrote a bunch of love songs. And in 1988, on the Second Sighting record, you wrote a song called New Kind of Love. Right?
Actually, it's over now.
Oh, it's over now. Okay, you did. It's over now. Okay.
I wrote actually a New Kind of Lover, and I'd have to look at the album. I don't even have it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, New Kind of Lover. That's what it was.
That was a heavy rock song. That was actually for a movie.
Oh, really? Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, that it never made the movie, but it was for a movie with David Duchovny in it, and I don't remember what the name of the movie is. It did come out eventually, but the song never made it on there. But the other song, if you're speaking of a love song, it was called "It's Over Now," a big piano ballad. I actually wrote that in Rick Nielsen's condo, his parents' condo. Rick Nielsen being from Cheap Trick, the guitar player.
Yeah.
I wrote that for them to record, and I wrote that in 1985 or 86, I think it was, 1986. And because that was the same time the Challenger exploded.
Oh, wow.
I wrote that. So, but they never did the song, and I just held it over for Frehley's Comet.
Wow, yeah. And that's a great song. I've actually played that on the show before. And,
Thank you.
Actually, we could play it right now, actually. Why don't we do
Fantastic.
that? Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, hold it. Let me just pull it up here. I got, there we go.
Fantastic.
All right, we'll be back with Tod Howarth in a moment.
This is Bill Tranter, the new principal at Hanson Middle School, and you're listening to the South Shore's favorite radio station, 95.9 WATD.
You sure are. Listen to the greatest radio station on planet Earth. That's right. WATD here in Marshfield, Massachusetts. Well, on the phone, I have Tod Howarth from 707 and from Frehley's Comet and from a bunch of other cool bands. His current project right now is called 4 by Fate. And I'm going to put him back up here. Hey, Todd, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
All right, awesome. Good. Hey. So, hey, off the air, we were talking about, the band 707. And
right.
I had played I Could Be Good For You on the show before, and I figured we could play that again. And, you said you had an interesting story about that song.
Well, yeah, when I first moved to L.A. in 1979, I played with a bunch of bands there, and I was working a day gig, and I had a little van, and I carried all my keyboard equipment, and big heavy Hammond B3, and a big Yamaha folding grand piano, and my amps, and part of the PA. And I'm a little guy; I'm not that big, so it's killing me to lug all this stuff around. But what happened is I ended up playing with some guys that ended up. Some of the guys in that band ended up playing with Cheap Trick. That's how I got to know Cheap Trick. But this one project I was playing with. It kind of fell apart, and I ended up auditioning for the band 707 because a lot of people told me, "Hey, you'd be really perfect for this band because you play guitar and keyboards and you sing, and they would probably work well for you." So, anyhow, I managed to get hold of management, and long story short, again, I got a couple of auditions. The first one I showed up and I learned a few songs, but I was all Hollywooded out. I had my long hair and my skinny jeans, my boots, and they weren't too Hollywood. They were a little more subtle Midwest cool, and so I think I kind of shocked them. So the management told me to come back and tone it down a little bit. So in a couple of weeks I did, and then for some reason they loved me, and it worked out. And I went on the biggest tour to date that I've ever been on with that band because we opened up for REO Speedwagon in the High Infidelity tour.
Oh, wow. That must have been...
So,
wow.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, there's extenuating circumstances around it, but nonetheless, we were there, and it was just amazing. So I thought, I'm on my way. It's going to be just, pots of gold from here on out, but no.
Yeah,
could be further from the truth.
Yeah.
But it was a good band.
And that must have been, it's the experience, just of first time going on a huge tour like that must have been, something else, especially in the time of excess in the 80s,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, I want to say thank you so much for calling in and taking time out of your busy schedule and talking to me here on my show called Together. It's a show that I put together, every Thursday morning. I play love songs for people. I try to, reawake things in their souls that they might have forgotten about, things, their 20th century sensibilities, if you will.
Right. Oh, yeah, we need that. Well, Patrick, I appreciate it, and thanks for talking about 4 by Fate, and we're on Facebook, and we're on The End Records, and you can find us on iTunes and the whole thing. You can find me on Facebook as well. And one more shout-out to Steve Parker and the guys at Shaw's.
Yeah, man.
Hope you're enjoying it over there in your Night Crew Vision or whatever the heck it is you guys are doing over there.
Yeah. Well,
but thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, have a great tour down in Australia. Have an awesome time, safe travels, and keep rocking it, brother.
Fantastic.
All right,
I will do it. Take care.
Okay, and here's 707 with I Could Be Good For You.